Welcome back, everybody. Appreciate you guys joining us in this week. We are going to be breaking down the Clovis West
Shootout. Yeah,
right? It was kind of a light. What did you think? It didn't have the turnout.
It definitely was stronger depth than last year than this year.
Oh yeah.
Because you saw too. I mean, basically from the two biggest schools that went, Buchanan and Clovis, they had a couple of starters or potential starters in, but for the most part, most of the
teams,
probably most of their lineup wasn't really in there.
Well, especially like Buchanan probably had a mixture of kids, but it was
you had
maybe whatever. And
probably a handful of guys that are gonna they're gonna actually start, and then some guys that are probably trying to get into lineup. And Clovis really
they have Reyes that I know of. They
have, so I mean, just more than likely shoe-in starters. You probably had Garza at 106, Anthony Garza. You had, and then really Reyes. From what I can remember.
Yeah, Reyes was there. I mean, there was a couple other kids there, but but then you look like Vacaville. Good on Vacaville.
Vacaville brought their guys. They brought their guys. Yeah.
Which I thought they probably showed up saying, hey, I thought we were here to wrestle.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah. But even like the amount of schools, like bigger schools, like last year you had Gilroy, and then you had, I think, Oakdale last year. This year just,
was not good.
Depth-wise and
they're watching that match.
Good schools.
We haven't even started the season. They're already freaking out.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Let's go get some.
But, whole school, Clovis West, had their guys in there, I mean, it's their whole school. You got to bring your guys, right? Yeah. But not overall, it wasn't bad. You had some pretty good matchups. Definitely, I would say, out of the whole tournament, looking at it, the seeding and who was at the tournament, 132 is laid into it. That was like
the best one.
That was the best weight class.
I saw that. So I didn't go, obviously.
Right.
You guys went just to watch and
we wanted to go check it out, support, and just kind of. I mean, it's nice just to go and watch some wrestling again.
Oh, absolutely. I cannot. I mean, this is the time of the year. It's my favorite time of year. But let's get right into it. So we'll break down. You look at Vacaville, Buchanan, Clovis, and then it kind of just dropped off, right? Like
like your top four is Buchanan 1, Clovis 2nd, Vacaville, Clovis West, Redwood. D2 Valley Champs last year. They brought a lot of kids, man, and they took a 5th.
Oh, man. All right.
So not bad.
Also, it's the season opener, so to speak, right, for a lot of these kids. So we'll go to 106s, and we'll take a look at this. But guys, so they did some seeding. We were talking about this before we started the show, and so on this one they had Garza, obviously number 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean Anthony Garza, Clovis. I mean, he's already got some good wins coming in, during preseason and all that stuff. So I want to say, I think they have him ranked 2nd or 3rd in the state right now.
Oh, you know what? That's so it's interesting because I mean, again, one of those weight classes where it's just it's smaller guys, right? So it's kind of hard. But
he's a freshman, so usually, usually 106, 113, even you're going to see more underclassmen anyway for the most part. So, I mean, he's a contender, man. So
you had him, and then who was the number 2 seed? The kid from Clovis West, right?
Yeah, the Xavier Garcia.
Okay, good. So, I mean, Garza's 9th right now.
9th in the state. Okay,
and he's only going to improve that.
Yeah, once the season gets. I mean, they haven't really seen him. I mean, this is the first CIF sanctioned event that he's wrestled in. So plenty of opportunity to get it done, and a lot of 106 pounders are in the central section, so he's going to get to see some guys.
And if you can carve it out here, then you're going to states. You're going to be fine.
Yeah,
it'll be good because you'll be very competitive. You'll be able to get up there in place, and at the bare minimum, I just think the Central Valley is very good with that right now.
Yeah.
So you had him. He did pretty. I mean, obviously he had a bias. It was small brackets, guys. It was just
there was, like I said, the depth for some of these weight classes were pretty small. Yeah, pretty small.
So he took he pinned into the finals, and he majors the Garcia kid.
Yeah.
So that's good on him. He didn't give up a takedown, didn't give up any score, but I mean, you're talking like 2 matches, 3 matches total.
Yeah. I mean, going into it, I figured he was gonna. When I saw the list, I figured he's gonna take the weight class.
Did you watch any of his matches?
You know what? I seen maybe one of his matches. He just he's doing his Garza stuff. He's a leg rider. He had a nice little ankle pick on him. He just kind of, like I say, he didn't have any trouble whatsoever in the weight class. So
the Garcia, so he had him in the finals, right? So the Bussy kid, is it Bussy? I mean,
the Vacaville kid, but Busby,
he took a 3rd.
Yeah. He ended up beating. He beat He beat Van Natta, Makai Van Natta from Hanford. Right. Hanford's a smaller school, I mean, so getting a kid in there to place is pretty good.
That's good. I'm wondering who put him on the other side. I think it was Garcia. Yeah, 4-2 in the semis. All right. Well, there you go. There's your first thing. Anything else in there you want to talk about that you saw?
No, like I said, I mean, and they were so kind of spread out, and then like until they got to the semis. So they had 6 mats.
Is that it?
So you had because it was a lot small. So remember last year they had their resting room open too, so they had 8 mats, but the brackets were so small. There was the numbers weren't probably as high as they were last year and all. So they had the 6 mats in the main gym. So not until the semis did you kind of really know like what was consolation, what was championship round. So they did the first 3. The front 3 mats were semifinals, and in the back they started doing consolation. Okay. But even when they went to the medal matches, like, I mean, you kind of had to pay attention, and I was kind of paying attention, but not really, So they were like, oh, mat 1 and 2 and 3 or finals, and 4 or 5 or thirds, and whatever. It just
seems like it was a much smaller venue than.
Yeah, it was definitely an intimate tournament.
Yeah, like was it loud and
not really, man. Like you go to like the Doc B or even the Zinkin and 5 count. Sometimes like you could barely hear each other talk, right? I mean, you could hold the conversation pretty fine. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff going on.
Well, hopefully that picks up, right, in some of these events.
Yeah, like with Garza, like I'm interested to see him go. I think Clovis is going out to the Run with the Rig in a couple weeks, which is probably the next kind of bigger thing, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if Clovis is going to take all their guys, kind of like with this one, but if anything, I'm curious, at least when Zinkin rolls around in December.
I got to believe by then everybody's bringing their lineup.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be probably the first, like, real competition where you're going to kind of see some quality matchups.
And you want that. You want to get them. I mean, I don't know. People, they got to pick and choose where you're going. But even then, like, okay, get some mat time. You're going to need that.
Yeah, I mean, he got 3 matches in, and he got, 2 pens and a major. So, he got, I mean, if anything, he at least got some work in, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. All right, so we'll go to 113s. Again, they seeded. So they had Elijah Ortiz from Clovis North as a number 1 seed.
Yeah.
I don't know this kid.
So Elijah's a junior.
Okay.
I want to say he was a qualifier last year, if I remember. Elijah's all right. He's a little on the younger side for his for the grade.
What's he ranked?
He is 23.
Okay.
So he was a qualifier. He's just trying to get in there. He's a junior. He's an upperclassman now. I would imagine. I would think he probably goes 106s for the season, probably.
I would think so. It's too early in the season to be,
because like I said, just looking at him, we've known him for a while too. He used to go to the throne and all that a little bit. So he's on the smaller side even for 13. So okay. I would imagine he goes 106s, which, you put him at 106s as a junior, 3 years under his belt, and they got a new coach, Gabe Flores, kind of helping in the room, who's a little guy who's probably helping him out a little bit. I'm sure he improves. I think he'll do pretty good at 106s. He's a little small even for 13. So
yeah, because then on the other side at the bottom, I think you had somebody Quentin Hall was a 2 seed.
Yeah, the Clovis West kid.
Chacon kid beat the Ortiz kid. Buchanan Chacon,
right?
5-4.
5-4 is close. It was close. Yeah, so not bad.
So then he moves on in the semis and he pushes Ortiz to the other side.
Right.
Which I think on the other side, even on the other side, Ortiz takes a 5th.
Yeah, he ended up losing to
Reyes.
To Reyes on the other
From
side.
Redwood?
Yes.
Isaac Reyes.
Yeah, Redwood kid.
Okay.
Like I said, Redwood's got a pretty big squad. They brought like all their guys for the most part, fun to look like. So.
Well, and then Clovis brought a Khalil.
Colejo, I think.
Yeah,
he's not bad. He's pretty tough. Kind of a leg rider a little bit, but this one, even this one, outside of 28s was one that had some better kids in there because you had, like I said, you had Chacon for Buchanan, you had Woodward for Buchanan, and they actually ended up meeting up in the finals,
right? Because Chacon kid took both Ortiz and Coelho out.
Yeah, so they ended up meeting with each other. Yeah, so this one, it was good. Woodward pretty much controlled the match. They're teammates, so they kind of, I'm sure they both kind of know who does what, right? Yeah. But this one will be interesting down the line.
Because this was,
I would assume they both probably battle for 8 later in the season. So we'll see how that ends up shaking out later.
Yeah, I mean, plenty of time to make those adjustments and corrections. But you, like I always tell people, but you drew first blood, right?
Right.
So that's the way to do it, and you got to keep, the consistency is everything. So that's good. Because who took a third then? Was it that the
Colejo kid from Clovis? And he's not bad. And I'll say he's not bad. He just he kind of went up against some bigger kids really for the weight class. Yeah, we could go 20. So 20s. I mean, it was not a bad weight class. I mean, it was a little light. She had the Vacaville kid, Olimares, he's pretty good. He's not bad. Yeah. And then so he was the 1 seed, and then I think the 2 seed was Ian Morales, who I'm pretty sure he's a senior from Exeter.
Okay. So
they ended up meeting up in the finals anyway, which was kind of what I figured.
So the Morales kid, like he did pretty good all the way, but he had a tougher match with the Schaefer kid from Clovis.
Yeah.
2-0 he beats him to get into the finals.
Yeah, and Schaefer in the semis, on the quarters, he beat Sullivan for Buchanan, who's a senior for Buchanan, in overtime.
7-5?
Yeah.
So you're looking, Alvarez, I mean, got it done, dude. The kid pin, right?
Yeah, tech fall. I mean, three pins and a tech fall for the day.
And in the final, he pinned Morales.
Yeah, Morales. Yeah.
Looks like with 1 minute and 11 seconds.
Yeah, it was pretty fast.
So he did pretty good. That's pretty good.
No, that's good. Yeah.
So who took the third then on this thing?
Schaefer kid beat Kellen Sullivan for Buchanan 2-0.
Dang. So they had that in the front side too, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was overtime, and then he gets him 2-0 in the final. So we got him twice.
There you go.
Schaefer. I want to say Schaefer's a freshman, which is Coach Schaefer's kid. So, for him, I mean, tough. I mean, it's tough for him, team wise, because I mean, at 20s, I mean, they're gonna have you got Thunder Lewis, you got
somebody there,
you got the Cervantes kid who was up at 28s on the next one, who maybe goes 20s for them, I would imagine. So he's in a tough spot. I mean, he's like most of the bigger powerhouse schools. They got a lot of good guys and all these weights. So he's trying to find his way.
Well, I'm sure, and then he's coming into the spot and trying to figure out where he fits in. But they'll sort that out, right?
Yeah,
that's what the season's ultimately all about.
But not bad. I mean, he's a solid wrestler. I mean, his dad's a coach, so I'm sure he's got the basics down. Right. I mean, he's doing well.
So I'm trying to think. Like last year, was he wrestling about that weight class?
I want to say he was around maybe 105 last year for middle school.
There you go.
But I mean, like we know, right? I mean, middle school to high school is a totally different animal, especially when you get towards the strength aspect of it.
Well, even their bodies change. Everything starts to happen, right? They're whinier.
I'm pretty sure he's put on some weight over the summer, because I don't think he was anywhere close to this weight last year. Like I said, he was probably like 100, 105 maybe last year.
That's good, and they grow into the body, right? You got to mature physically. I mean, for males, that's where it's at. You have to allow that testosterone to really develop,
right?
Be able to go through that puberty process, but. So we'll go to 126s, right? You said you saw this, but I was surprised. So again, if they seeded, they got a kid named Landon Borchers
from Vacaville.
Can you take a look, see where he's ranked? Because I don't even remember this kid.
No, and then he doesn't have a profile for us to click on either.
Right, but I guess not. Because at the bottom, you had Quintana
from Redwood. Well, then you had Passaville from North, who he's not bad. I mean, he's pretty good. He was he was a starter last year for North. I'm pretty sure he was a state qualifier as well. Yeah. So to put him, I mean, I don't even know that Quintana kid was a qualifier last year. So
it's kind of weird how they did that.
Yeah,
but then Pascal Bryce, right?
Yeah, Bryce.
He runs into the Cervantes kid and Simon Cervantes from Clovis.
And I actually seen that match. It was a little close the first period or so.
Okay.
And then there's Cervantes kid just kind of, not that he outmatured him.
3 minutes into it.
Right. Yeah. He just he's pretty good on top. He was riding Bryce pretty good. Ended up catching him with the fall.
Yeah, because then he comes out of the middle of the field. So it's a Cervantes kid, right? I think the 3 seed maybe or whatever. And
he got the 4 seed probably.
So who did he end up running into? Oh, so he had Troy Reese.
Yeah, so we had Troy Reese Buchanan in the finals, and just kind of worked him over a little bit. I think you could. So Troy Reese he's a freshman, right? He's Paris Reese's brother. I think it was a maturity thing with that one from what I saw because he just kind of overpowered him a little bit with everything.
Now,
he had,
is Troy undersized a little bit for this? You think, or
I think he probably went what he walks around at more than likely. Yeah, and and he had a really good tournament too though. Troy did. Right. I mean, he did really well. He's kind of like his brother, right? He leg rides, and he's built a little different. He's a little more compact and stocky, but I was impressed, honestly. I mean,
look at this. He takes out the number 1 seed.
Yeah,
13-4 in a major decision. That's big. And I mean, but Cervantes seemed like it was just too much because that's nothing.
Yeah, no, it was just a different, harder hand fighting. A little kind of overpowered him a little bit because Cervantes kid's, he's pretty put together for the size. He's pretty thick, strong kid. But I mean, no shame in what Reese did. Like I said, I was from watching. I watched a lot of his matches actually, and I went away pretty impressed. Like he did a lot better than I thought. He did really well. He looked good.
Well, good. They come to compete. I mean, because then on the backside, I think Bryce Pascal, he ended up taking a third. Right, he ended up beating the Borchers kid. So he pinned him actually. Yeah, so and they, going into it, I figured Paul Seville and the Cervantes kid were probably the best two for when I saw it. So, well, there you go. That's 26s, guys. I mean, we're kind of going down the list here, but it was light on some of the things, and it's some of the brackets were a little smaller. I think like 32s was a little bit bigger.
This bracket, and it had
the better.
And this was the best bracket, without a doubt, at the tournament.
So who was the number 1 seed?
So you had Leo Maestas for Clovis West. Now, I mean, after Fargo, I mean, he's a Fargo 16U champ. I mean, they had him ranked
16U though. I can
right, and we've talked about it.
High school 16U. It's a
I think
big difference.
He went 1 and 2 or 2 and 2 at Super 32.
Yep.
But I mean, at one point he was ranked like he was 14 or 13th in the country.
Well, they do it because he did Fargo,
right?
But again, big difference. Now, but high school kids,
right? But he's always been pretty solid. He's a junior, hasn't had a chance to place in state yet. But I think with him wrestling all summer long, he's probably, I think he's coming to his own a little bit. Yeah. I can see him pulling and placing this season.
He's number 9.
Okay, right? And he's in one of those weight classes that's this is a deep weight class. There's a lot of good kids in the state at 132 pounds. Yeah,
I think it's that's not a done deal. That whole weight class will shift.
And you're going to really see how it's going to go because Central Section has a lot of good kids at this weight.
That weight class,
yeah, especially here, like I said, in the Central Valley. So, he was doing stuff. He had a tough match in the semis with Rivera,
right? So
he's scrappy, dude.
4-0. He wins that, right? Gets it done. Had a pin prior to that, 2 pins prior to that,
yeah.
And then he gets in on the bottom side. You had Paris Reese,
yeah,
right, and he takes out some kids to get there. He came out of the middle of the field, but he had a pin.
Paris got what? Paris got the 3 seed,
right?
Yeah,
because he ends up in the semifinals with
the Sandoval kid from Vacaville. Now, so I watched the Sandoval kid a couple times. I mean, not for nothing, but he probably shouldn't have been the 2 seed. I mean, he's a solid wrestler. Right. I mean, it's not like he's not good. He's a definite right. solid wrestler, but I think they kind of overreach with the 2 seed.
Well, that's what happens, and it's fine because I think what's good about that is you're working your way to it because even if say you swap that with Paris Reese.
They probably end up the same. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because he would have been the 4 or whatever. But Paris made sure they knew. Like, he pinned him.
Yeah. No, like I said, Paris has looked really, really good. I've been very impressed with how Paris has looked.
That's awesome.
I mean, he won Freak Show. And some of I think he won the Oakdale one as well. No, he didn't win Oakdale because he lost to Vela and then
Ezekiel Vela.
Yeah. But no, I mean, he's like I said, he won Freak Show. He looked really good during all the summer stuff and the summer duels and all that. Really, really good. And then, I mean, we know if you haven't wrestled Paris before, I mean, he can get you, man. He's good on top. He's a good scrambler. And then he's kind of filled out a little bit, his body wise. He looks good, man. I've been very impressed with him.
He's a counter striker, right?
Yeah.
So what happens with that too is if you've never seen him, you don't pay attention, you don't do your homework, to know thy enemy, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You're just going to be surprised by what happens, and so. He hits that thing, and the kids are like, "What just happened?" It's just like Leo Cantino, right? When you get Cantino'd, that's what happens.
Yeah.
And so
And that's what he did, man. I mean, he looked really good.
So he beat the Sandoval kid.
So he beat Sandoval, he pins him. And then he had, so it was him and Maestas in the finals.
And he pins Maestas.
Oh, man. I mean, so like we're saying, if you've never wrestled Paris, Paris is good. I mean, he's very savvy. He's real match savvy. He's great on top.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, but, I mean, the Maestas kid kind of played right into his wheelhouse, though, you know? I mean, you shoot a high C on Paris, you're gonna scramble, dude. Right, he's like Cantino. He's gonna set the corner. You start rolling around
right through between your legs,
and that's exactly what happened.
Awesome. I mean, he executed.
Yeah, no, he did well.
So
and
that's
then,
what he did. He stuck him like that.
Yeah. So first period, so he goes in and so he shoots a high C. They kind of get in a scramble. He gets out of it the first time. They kind of stalemate it out. They go back, shoots another high C.
The same shot.
Same shot. Sits the corner. Comes through, they start rolling, swims the other leg, comes up, puts him on his back a little bit, and then so then he quad pods, and then Paris is a leg rider.
Oh yeah.
So he just, like I said, everything that the Maestas kid did was all in Paris's wheelhouse. Yeah, so
like handing it to him.
Yeah, so he gets his leg in, goes crossbody cradle, sits that cradle back, and sticks him, man. I mean, like I said,
can't make those mistakes.
That's a great one. That's a good win for Paris for the season. Like I said,
he took out the Fargo's,
16 whatever, but
and pins him.
Yeah, but good. I mean, good match. Paris looked really, really good. I'm very, I'm curious to see how he's going to do in the season because, like I said, he's on a roll right now, and if he could keep the momentum going,
consistency is everything.
Yeah.
But here's the deal: like you had another Buchanan kid in there, right? You had Besmer and. My thing is nothing like competition to sharpen you.
Right.
Because then if you're fighting for a spot, maybe this is it. But Besmer
and actually, when I saw the bracket came out, he was gonna to get in the final, he was gonna have a hell of a run, dude.
Oh yeah. I mean, he had to take out the Rivera kid.
So he had the Rivera kid, who
Maestas.
Yeah. So him and the Rivera kid have been wrestling forever.
Right.
And they go back and forth all the time. And then
styles, they're
and then Ashton just kind of he gave up a takedown with like maybe 5 seconds, and one of the pairs I forget which one, which kind of changed the whole match, right?
Absolutely.
But on that backside, he came back and beat the Rivera kid, so he got a little bit of revenge anyway.
Well, because he dropped the match, so it was 6-3.
Yeah.
Right, and so. He would have had a tough go to get to it, but he would have earned that whole run to the finals.
Oh, yeah. No, if he got to the finals, it was going to be earned for sure.
Oh, because he ends up taking the third, right? Yeah. He beat the Rivera kid?
He had the Rivera kid again.
3-0.
Which was good because he
made the adjustments.
Yeah. Well, he had it, because the Rivera kid's he's similar to Paris. I think Paris is a little better scrambler, but, he's
counter striker.
He leg rides. He holds a good position. He's got a decent underhook when you're in neutral, but Ashton switched it up and he just blast doubled him in the first period, kind of
That's nice.
Just took momentum and then rode him out pretty good, So
there you go, 3-0.
Yeah, did good. So that one. I mean, the Reese and Besmer, stuff, that'll get figured out later, during the season or whatever. But Paris, like I said, Paris so far, man, looks really impressive. He's looking good. He's got good momentum going in. So. We'll see how he does at some of these other tournaments.
Early in the season, we'll see. I mean, because that Sandoval kid, he goes back. He worked his way back in, but he took a 6th.
Yeah,
right? He got pinned for the 5th place match. So there's a little bit of work to be done there, and so
but this Waste guy was cool. Had a lot of good matchups throughout the bracket, which was good.
I mean, good on Paris for getting it done and getting stubborn about, hey, I'm going to do what I need to do. So that's
Paris looks really good, man. I'm excited to see how he goes the rest of the season.
All right, we're moving to 38s. Now, 38s, it looked like it was a smaller bracket.
Yeah, 38s. Yeah.
It wasn't too big.
Not too crazy. Going into it, you had Jeff Lopez, and then you had Isaac Mendoza for Redwood. When I saw it, I kind of figured, okay, well, these guys look like, just on prior stuff, they're probably the two best guys in the weight class. And they ended up meeting in the final anyway. So Jeff had a Morro Bay. Morro Bay was out there. Morro Bay came all the way up from Morro Bay, went to this one. So they had a pretty good team too, big team anyway.
Lopez gets in. He got it done. Now I see. He just ran kind of the tables on people, right?
Yeah. So,
and on the backside or on the bottom side, you had the Mendoza kid from Redwood, and it was 6-1 in the finals.
Yeah, no, Jeff's tough, man, and Jeff looks good, man. He's filled out. It looks nice and strong. Now, he probably doesn't go 38s. I mean, he's probably. I think actually, I talked to him. He's basically just kind of wrestling what he weighed.
Yeah.
But he looked good. He looked really good. And Jeff's always been scrappy, man. I mean, freshman year, he placed at Doc B as a freshman. So, Jeff's always been pretty tough. He's always been pretty good. Yeah.
She's a senior this year?
Jeff is a junior. The Mendoza kid, I believe, is a senior. Yeah. And, he's the most seasoned guy for Redwood, for that team. He's probably one of the leaders in that room.
Well, he had a tough match with that Munley kid from Clovis.
Yeah, Devin Munley.
So 2-1. And he turns it.
And the Munley kid's another one of those Clovis kids. He's in the mix with a lot of good guys, and he's so he's not bad. He's a pretty good wrestler too.
Yeah, I mean, and then I look back on the backside, who ended up getting it, right? So it was somebody else that.
You had that Pryor from Atascadero.
Oh wow! And
he beat Elijah. So Alva from Clovis. They had a couple Clovis kids in here, and he's pretty good. The Alva kid's not bad. He's been a pretty solid wrestler, even as a middle school or an elementary kid and all that.
Well, Clovis, I mean, they didn't bring all of their studs, obviously, and so they're just getting mat time, which is good. So let's see now, 44s.
Yeah, we jumped to 44s.
All right, number 1 seed, Vacaville, right?
Vacaville, yeah. Gianna Grasso.
Oh, Gianna Grasso. Have you seen this kid? You know who he is?
No.
But he gets there. I mean, he kind of. It looks like he was pinning kids and getting there into the finals. And on the bottom side, you had the Clovis kid.
So you had a close match with Jacob Mendoza from Hanford.
Yeah.
10-8. That's a lot of scoring, though.
That is a lot of scoring.
For a quarterfinals match.
10-8.
Yeah, for semifinals, that's a lot of scoring, man.
Did you watch this match at all, or was it?
No, I don't recognize any of these.
In here and some. All right.
And then you had Logan Southers, I think is how you say it. From Clovis. Yeah.
Struthers, right?
Is it Struthers?
Yeah, Struthers.
Yeah.
He actually pinned Gianna Grasso. That's okay. And
minutes from Vacaville. Yeah, Vacaville usually has some pretty solid kids, so not bad. I don't know much about the Southers kid.
Yeah, me neither. Because then on the third place match at the Montalvo from Buchanan.
Yeah, Diego.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see who put him on the other side.
Diego lost to the Mendoza kid from Hanford. He got pinned.
And then the Mendoza kid loses. So they had that match back. And he beats him, right? That's crazy. Yeah, because they're both.
Yeah, he pinned him, so he got him back from pin to pin. So good on him, man. Because Montalvo's a freshman, so he's and as a freshman at 144s, that's you're not wrestling. You're not the underclassmen. You're wrestling You're going to be wrestling some juniors and seniors at that weight class. So
yeah, for sure.
So not bad. Like you said, not bad for him. I mean, Diego's one of those kids that. He'll get seasoned this year. Hopefully, get some more mat time. Get some more experience, and then next year and the year after, he's definitely going to be needed in the lineup and bring something to the table.
Oh yeah, they have to.
And he's got good pedigree. I mean, he's the little brother of Anthony Montalvo. So I don't see.
He's a big boy.
Yeah, he's not as big as Anthony. I don't think he's going to end up as big. He's a little taller, a little leaner.
Yeah,
but the pedigree's there. I mean, I can't imagine. You got a brother. You got a brother like that. I'm sure he comes home in the summer from college, kind of beats you up a little bit,
And you need that. It's good.
Yes, I think he'll be, for a third here as a freshman at this weight class. I think he'll be fine.
Early in the season, it builds your confidence. You get going. It's a season started. I mean, it's good.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go to 50s.
50s.
So Max Del Bosque's Clovis North, number 1 seed, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else was here. I know the Isaac Padilla kid from Vacaville. He's a sophomore. He was in this, and then you had Quasi Marini from Vacaville as well.
Yeah,
he was a 2 seed.
Right, Marini was a 2 seed. Yeah.
So they both get into.
So the Bosque and Padilla actually ended up on the same side. So
yeah,
close match 4-0.
Yeah, Isaac is. I don't know if you know Isaac, but
no,
he's a competitor, man. Since he was a little guy, he's one of those guys too that always wrestled up. He's a younger. He's actually like a true. Actually, he's even younger than that. He's young. He's on the young side of Besmer.
Okay, so he's like super young. He's young even for the normal age group.
but he's a sophomore. Your hair, so you got to do what you got to do. But I mean, he lost to Del Bosque.
Yeah, the Del Bosque is twin. And they're solid. They're good.
Yep, they continue to grow and evolve. And I mean, Padilla takes a third. So he did good.
He lost to Dobosca, who ended up winning the weight class over Marini from his teammate. So
I think Vacaville had like 3 kids in his weight class.
Yeah, I mean, Vacaville's up there where they're at. They're basically the powerhouse for their area.
Oh yeah,
and I'm sure they're like every other powerhouse in their section. They got a lot of kids that are on the same weights that are trying to figure it out.
In some places, and then some places they're it's kind of hard because they don't have a lot of people in the weight class. But Marini gets into the finals, but then
gets pinned by Dobosca.
Dobosca pinned.
Yeah. So. Listen, Dobosca kids, I think they're going to do all right this season. Like I said, Central Section is. I mean, 150s just as a state is stacked, man. I mean, 150s and 157s is that whole weight class and
the Stratas of the world.
Yeah, I mean, you got some good nationally ranked kids at that weight class. So, that's gonna be tough. That's gonna they're good. They're good. They play if they place and all that. I mean, that's gonna really be telling. It's like, man, you guys really improved. You guys did really well. Besides, so I think it probably had his brother. I would imagine.
Well, no, you had Patrick Roberts, number 1 seed.
Yeah,
Buchanan. So he was there, and then on the bottom, I was looking to see who
we had a De Leon from where the hell was he from? From Redwood, another Redwood kid. He wasn't bad. I seen some of his matches. He's a big, lanky kid.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm not a big fan of his haircut and all, but
was it like all poofy?
No, he had one of those. He's got one of those. I guess it's like a modern day mullet, but it's blonde. He's got it dyed and everything. Oh, boy. I mean, good on him, but. He's a big lanky kid for the weight. He looked pretty good. I seen a couple of his matches.
Well, he got himself in. So this is the 1 weight class where the bracket kind of
stayed true. Yeah.
Yeah. So the number 1 seed, 2 seed, they get into the finals.
Right.
And it's a closer match. I mean, it
was 4-2. 4-2. I think Patrick ended up riding him out the last period pretty good. The real one was Patrick Roberts against Santos Estrada, both from Buchanan. 1-0. Yeah. That was a tough match. I mean, basically, Patrick got away, and I forget what period it was, and then rode him out the other period. Yeah. There was no scoring on their feet, and then just they work. I'm sure they work out together, and
that's always tough.
That's another one where lineup implications might be there because I think Patrick has a real good shot at making the lineup. Yeah.
All right. Well,
I mean, he'll have to beat a few more of his teammates, I'm sure, but
because
he's got a good shot.
Third, he comes back and he takes a third. And
they were probably the 3 best guys going into it anyway.
Yeah.
So not bad. Yeah, but the De Leon kid for Redwood, I mean, close match with Roberts, but like I said, I watched a few of his matches because they were just kind of right in front wherever we were sitting at, and he wasn't bad. He looked pretty good. He's a big, strong kid for the weight class.
Well, that's it. I don't know who that kid is from Redwood, but I'm gonna look out for him in his haircut. so it's like party in the front.
No, it's weird. Like even Rockland has it now. So I was told it's called a burst fade.
A burst
like fade. A burst fade, but it's like a modern day mullet. So instead of having like that stuff, it's like blended in, I guess. Okay. I mean, it looks cool a little bit. Ferrari, yeah, kind of like that. Yeah.
All right. It's wild. These kids in there.
But he's doing the whole state thing before state. When a lot of the kids go blonde.
Right. But then Patrick Robert, like you said, he won this weight class. He beats him.
Yeah, Patrick looked good. And Patrick's a big, strong kid for that weight. Yeah. I anytime I see him, I always ask him, man, what kind of workout you doing, man? Because I'm trying to get on that program too, man.
Well, good on. All right, so we'll go to 165s. So this is the 1 weight class where Clovis really brought.
Yeah, so you had Adrian Reyes, Adrian's good. He's a 2-time state placer, 16U Fargo champ. I mean, he's done some good stuff. He's done good stuff. Yeah, Adrian's tough, man. He's always. You know what? I'll give this kid credit, man. I don't know if it's his decision or the coach's decision, but this kid always wrestles, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he's always in there. He's always getting after it.
Work.
He's always out there, man. I give him credit for that. Props for that, man.
Yeah, no, it's good because he was number 1 seed. Yeah. On the bottom, you had I think it was
Aiden
West,
Cortez. Yeah.
And Aiden Cortez loses in the quarters.
To Howe from Vacaville, Carson Howe from Vacaville.
Okay.
Close match too, 5-4.
5-4. And Eric comes back and takes a third.
Yeah.
He actually pinned. Who did he pin?
He pinned Bajarona from Buchanan.
Bajarona. Okay, so that was there. All right. So Bajarona was there. Who did Bajarona get to? Oh, okay. Reyes took him out.
Yeah, Adrian beat him.
13-3.
Yeah, he kind of put it on him a little bit.
All right. Well, I mean, good on Adrian. He's getting it done. He's got to, right? I think he's ranked. He's
got to be pretty high.
75. That's
Adrian's third at 65.
Okay, so 65. So he's Adrian's tough. Adrian's going to be good. He's going to be running for a state title this year. So
he'll be up there banging with these guys.
Yeah.
So he beats the Howell kid
11-5.
Yeah, in the finals.
Yeah, and I figured when I seen it, I was like, hey, Adrian should win this. Without too much issue.
Yeah, I don't know who that Howell kid is, but that's good.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Vacaville had a lot of kids in the.
They brought their team.
Yeah, they had a lot of kids in the semis, finals, getting third.
Imagine if they didn't, though, how much more this tournament would not.
Yeah.
Because that's not good.
It was a little surprising because last year the tournament was pretty good.
Great.
Yeah, it was pretty good. You had a lot of. Well, I think a lot of it too was you had a lot more. Like Clovis Clovis had more of their their probably first string kids, and Buchanan had more of those kids too. So
they were getting them at time, making sure that they're ready for the high school season.
Yeah, but I kind of noticed it kind of throughout the state. Really, some of the tournaments, because this was like basically the first week.
Oh yeah,
I think teams are being a little more strategic on when they put their guys to kind of get after it, kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't know if they look at lists or not or whatever before, but I think teams are just being a little more strategic on when they throw their guys out there and get after it.
My 2 cents is, look, man, you see, okay, I'm we'll make it up. I'm 5, and I know where number 3 and 2 is going to be at. I'd like to go there because
if the team's already going right.
Or even then, like when they sort that out and whatever, you're right, wherever they go, because a lot of things they just make up their.
Because I think some of that's already predetermined on where
they
you're going.
They decide where they're going to go, but if you're really looking to improve position, so that if you're chasing a state title or chasing whatever you're chasing, only way to do that is to beat ranked kids.
Yeah, so, well, you'll see that later in the season. Like we'll see, definitely Doc B, and then 5 counties.
Get those head-to-heads.
The head-to-heads you probably won't see. You might get some, common opponents maybe, but
or just better placement than the other.
Right.
But I do like the head-to-heads.
Yeah, no, head-to-heads make everything pretty cut and dry, right?
Right. Like, okay, well, I beat you here, I beat you there, you beat me here, or whatever. But so 175s.
So 175s. You had Arjun Nagra, Vacaville 1 seed. Brock Kitchens for Buchanan was a 2 seed.
Okay, he was a 2 seed on the bottom.
Which it kind of just stayed that way. They both met in the finals.
Yeah, they didn't look like they had any issues getting into the to the finals.
I mean, the Nagra kid had 3 pins. One was 13 seconds.
I mean, that's crazy. The kid just like lay over or something.
That's an easy day, right? That's. Hey, I'll take it though. I'm saying, make my day easy, man.
That's not good, man. That's the 13 seconds. At least fight a little bit.
But even Kitchens didn't have much of a problem. He had 2 pins and then a major.
Major, and then into the finals. 6-4.
So I actually seen the match.
Okay.
Brock Kitchens was kind of coming on at the end. He just kind of ran out of time a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of gave up some junk at the first couple periods or whatever. But it was close. Like he ended up cutting him with maybe like he got a takedown in the third. And ended up cutting him with maybe like, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds left. And he could just help position and just kind of down block.
Well, he's winning.
Right.
He's just going to stay him off, right? But like Arjun's a senior. I think so is Brock.
Yeah, Kitchens is a senior. And Kitchens is a kid who's trying to get in the lineup this year. He's a senior, trying to finish, his high school career with something good, man.
He's always worked hard. Every time I see him in the room, he works hard. And
he does everything. The kid does everything, man.
I think the one thing that he's always liked is that next level of just more competition time.
Right. Time. Well, he does a lot. The kid's busy, man.
Right. He's an athlete. He does a lot. But I think if you did that, you can help yourself by when you get in those positions and you feel comfortable in the positions.
And I think he wrestled a lot last season too at some of the bigger tournaments. I think this season he's really going to get thrown in the fire and kind of seeing where he shakes out, you know?
You got to. And it's good. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing because you get in there like he maybe runs his back on this kid and then makes adjustments.
I'm sure they'll see each other. Vacaville goes a lot of the bigger tournaments too, so I'm sure they'll end up catching each other again.
No, that's good. Let's see. Who took the third? It was
the third was Tadeo.
Tadeo from
it says GAM. I don't know where that is.
GAM has got to be. I don't know what GAM is. Okay.
He's from Lamont, California.
All right. GAM.
I forget about that new weight, man.
Yeah,
so this one had
Thomas Sandoval, I think, is number 5 or 4.
He's up there for sure.
190s.
Yes, you hit him 1, and then Sean Michael Roberts from Buchanan was 2.
All right. He's third.
He's 3.
He's third.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have and Shawn Michaels, obviously, probably make this lineup. This is awesome.
He's a senior too. That's trying to finish his career with a state title placement or something. Shawn Michaels is 5th. Yeah.
So he comes into this. They both. It holds true, right? First against number 2, and it was a close match. Did you watch this?
I did watch it 3-2. So, like anyone who's watched Sandoval and too, is like he's an athletic kid. He's got a good outside double.
Oh, yeah. All day long.
Yeah. Shawn Michael wrestled him pretty tough. There was a couple of shots where the Sandoval kid kind of shot from pretty close to out of bounds, and then just kind of shooting him off.
Yeah.
So. Do it in bounds. Maybe you get another takedown or 2.
Yeah, but you gotta finish him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, but no, Shawn Michael wrestled him tough. I, from my opinion, I mean, if Shawn would have been a little more aggressive offensively, I think he could have took him down because the Sandoval kid gassed out. Oh. Granted, it's early in the season, but he's a big explosive kid. So a lot of that, you burn your gas on stuff like that, right? So I think if Shawn Michael would have got on the gas a little bit and been a little more offensive, just being more aggressive, I think he gets a takedown and probably wins.
Man, that's crazy because I mean, you watch Sandoval, and if he was in our weight class.
Well, he beat Montero.
So Sandoval and Tyler Hodges. I remember watching that match. The score was you would have thought it was little guys, like
it was
amount of double legs and all kinds of was going on. But Sandoval was not a guy that rides you.
No, and he didn't. He kind of just cut and release.
Okay, because I can see that. Like I could see him scoring and cutting them and just working through that process.
But Shawn Michael, closed the distance. Didn't really let him work from space too much.
So that he got out or he got a takedown. Well,
no, Sandoval got a takedown and cut him, and then he got out on the. Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's all right. Well, we'll see. They'll see that.
Yeah, but no. I mean,
look, Shawn Michaels takes him out. He moves up the rankings.
Right? And like I said, if he would have been, especially in that third, because you could tell that Sandoval was pretty tired. Yeah, he's pretty tired. If he would have kind of got on that gas, kind of did like a little sprint, maybe set something up off of something, I definitely think he could have got takedown if he was a little more aggressive in that third period. Man. But outside of that, I mean, he did really well. He wrestled a good match.
Man, that you kind of put a little bit of you put people on notice. Hey, man, I'm coming.
Yeah. No, he did really. He did well. I was impressed.
That's really good.
Because going into it, I was like, oh man, he's gonna have a tough one in that final. Right? Yeah,
but, to hold your own and then some. That's impressive.
Especially when by all accounts, he could have got him if if he was kind of on him a little bit.
Just went on. And then you make that adjustment. I'm sure he will. I mean,
he did good. I was impressed.
Hopefully he got a little video of that so we can watch it and say, okay, where could I make the difference of it?
Definitely.
That's good on him.
Yeah, definitely something to build off of.
So then we're going to 215. So you had Dansby as a number one, Alec Dansby from Buchanan, number one seed. And then at the bottom you had
Kai Priesendorf from Redwood.
Yeah, you said that right. So Priesendorf, right?
Yeah, Priesendorf. His dad actually was like a 2-time state champ from up north back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. His dad's a big dude.
I was gonna say these are big boys.
Yeah, his dad's a big dude.
And they get into the finals.
Yeah.
But Dansby, I think, is just too much for him because he pins him.
Yeah. And and I think Dansby's finally down to a weight class that I think is a little more for his size. Right. Because last year he wrestled heavyweight, was a little undersized. Because anybody who knows Dansby, he's like my height, and 215 pounds. The kid's got some tree trunks on him, dude. This kid's got some legs, man.
His squat's probably off the chain.
But he's built for powerlifting. Right, you know what I mean?
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but no, he did good, man. He wrestled good.
Did Clovis have a big boy at all? Or do they not?
Yeah, so Dansby ended up pinning him in the the quarters. Well, they had 2. They had a Barnes and then a Castillo. Wow. So he pinned both of them.
Dang, dude. So think about that. I mean, that's good. Good on Dansby.
Yeah, he looked good. He looked good. I was impressed, man. He looked really good. I mean, he wrestled good last year, even at heavyweight, even undersized a little bit. I mean, he's a blood around guy at state last year. Well. Yeah, he's athletic. Yeah,
he can move side to side.
He's quick, man. If he would develop like a nice little snatch, like a single leg snatch or something from his feet, boom. Yeah, just to get in there because he's so compact and quick for the weight. I think it would help him so much, man. But no, he did good. I was impressed. He did really well. I'm curious to see how he does at a weight class that's a little more suitable for him.
Yeah. Well, it's how it just allows him to be that much more in the competitive. it's great. You
yeah, he moves. Yes, he moves well for a bigger kid.
All right, so we're going heavyweights now. So in the heavyweights, you had again another Buchanan kid, I guess Harrington, number 1 seed, and on the bottom you had Jordan Nugent, right? And that he's Redwood. No, Redwood. What am I saying?
Redwood. Yeah, like I said, Redwood had a lot of kids, man.
Well, then they had another kid in there too. Cooper Rogers was there.
Cooper Rogers was there, and they ended up. So they were in the final together, Rogers and Harrington. Yeah. Wow. So and they're both football kids, big kids, and actually, so Cooper Rogers, he's been playing football, so I hadn't really seen him, and he grew a lot, man. He grew a lot. He's a big kid,
big tall kid.
I mean, his brother was big, and state runner up his senior year. But he's a big kid. Like he grew a lot over the year, over the off time. Yeah, he's big.
Yeah. So he took a.
So Harrington won. Harrington beat him 9-3.
Harrington is always impressed.
Yeah,
because he keeps coming.
Yeah,
he keeps coming.
Right, and then just him and Dansby for the last few seasons have been kind of just battling each other for the spot. Just kind of one of those things, when you're at a big good program. And I think they're both probably gonna end up getting in the lineup this year. And I think Harrington does well. I mean, he's a big kid. He moves pretty well.
He's got a good attitude.
He's
in there.
He's probably hungry. He's kind of missed out the last few few seasons.
I like, look, I gotta do whatever it takes to get into this lineup.
Right.
This is my senior year or whatever it is for him. I don't know. Actually, what's Harrington?
He's a senior. Yeah, he's a senior this year. Rogers is only a junior, so he'll be back next year. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean,
good.
Pretty good. They do. They'll be doing good this year. I'm pretty sure. So
overall, what did you think? I mean, it's a season opener.
Yeah, I mean, for the season is finally starting, which is good. The kids will only get better as the season goes on. I mean, you're early on. You'll start seeing the kids you won't see probably anybody at weight until maybe after you get to +2. You might see some at Zinkin and stuff, but for the most part, once they get to +2, then I think the kids will start kind of getting to where they're going to be for the season. So
for sure.
It's a little hard to judge right now, but it's just good to see wrestling back, and getting at some tournaments.
I got to get to a tournament soon so I can get my fix, but it's the start of the season, everybody, and obviously we're going to continue to try to break down some of the events. Chris went to this, so it was good and fortuitous.
Well, it helps when it's
it's right here,
5 minutes from the house, man. Here. That's always nice too.
So and we'll definitely break down tournaments as the season goes along and try to figure this out. But I just think good to get back on the mat, get some mat time, start to figure out what's what, and some of those they use them to say, okay, well, where are you going to be in the weight class, or maybe the people go out there and compete and see who
I think definitely early on in the first few tournaments, like the teams like the Vacaville's, the Clovises, the Buchanans, teams like that have, like 2 or 3 kids that are close to the same weight that are looking to get a spot. I think you'll see a lot of them getting in and getting that worked out. By the time Doc B probably rolls around, you probably see who's gonna go what.
Well, it's going to be interesting because I'm looking forward to a lot of these weight classes. I mean, I'm still hopeful that you'll see Tommy Thompson, and if he recovers.
Yeah, he wasn't up there, so obviously Exeter had a handful of kids, but I don't know what the recovery time is with what he's got going on. Yeah,
it'll be a little bit, and then hopefully he can get back on the max. I think he's a senior this year too.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think he is a senior.
Hopefully, but even like there's a lot of discussion that's going on about whether or not CIF allows or what the bylaws are with regard to wrestling and like opens, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of that little piece going on because I think it's unfortunate. I don't know if you paid attention at the national level where the guys from Pennsylvania and
they won some college tournaments. They're winning some tournaments.
The Blaze kid takes out
Matt Ramos. Yeah. He's good. The Blaze, and he's long and lanky.
Oh, dude. He's difficult to deal with.
Yeah.
But I just think it only allows, if you really care about just progressing and being better, that gives you an opportunity. Yeah. If you don't do that, then...
Well, I mean, we've seen a couple California kids do that last season. I mean, you guys had some experience with it, so I'm not sure what the real rule is. I think it's one of those things kind of where out of sight, out of mind, where if you just kind of go, and then they don't say nothing,
because it seems like
they pick and choose almost a little bit.
Absolutely. If you're going to implement that and say it's always been the case, then you need to look back historically and look at every single one of these things for the last 5 years. Name the thing.
Right.
I just think it's But what is it hurting? Especially, what's the big deal? And I don't understand because I think the rules by law, like 215, was started for something else, like track rest or something. Or
probably,
something
yeah, probably.
It was not.
But you see that but you see that in track too. I mean, you'll see high school kids competing at the Olympic trials. I mean, you see it all the time.
Well, imagine for the second, like USA does that, right? If you are in a certain weight class and you're still in high school, they don't care. They move you to that next division.
Yeah, you'll go. Yeah.
So, I'm just glad that wrestling is back and that people are doing their thing. And, it's the start of the season, people. I cannot wait. I kind of miss the grind, and you get in there and we always complain about the traveling back all over the state.
Oh, yeah,
but it's fun, man. It's just...
Yeah, I'm actually hoping we don't have to travel too far this year on some of the stuff, man.
You guys already have the list out, right? They know what tournaments are going to
I mean, I think most of the schools, they got their schedules out and all that. It's just kind of on, because like a lot of the bigger schools, obviously, Gilroy's and the Bosco's and on Poway, all these guys, they send teams to like 2 different things, right? So hopefully we don't gotta go too far.
Well, and it's all.
But they do a good job of trying to see what teams go, and then if you got a kid in your weight that's like ranked higher or close, it's like shoot you over there and go get after it.
It's great because it gives you an opportunity to do it. Some of these smaller programs don't always get that, but
they kind of go where they gotta go.
Right, yeah.
Right,
but it's good. It's good. I'm excited, man. I cannot wait to at least get a taste and feel like a mat.
Hey, man, and especially when tournaments roll fast, like that shootout. I mean, it was done by like 3:30, dude.
That's crazy.
Which is nice. I was like, oh man, we're getting out of here already. This is great.
But it also it just didn't have the allure, and it didn't have the
right, yeah. I mean, the bracket's a little smaller, which is why it went faster, but not bad though. I mean, hey, you get out of a wrestling gym by 3:00, man. That's
because I think the next big thing that at least from what I looked on track, what's out there. What is it for? At least for up here in the
central section. The next thing is the Rumble and the Rig. I think it's called or something. Yeah.
Or I don't know. Like Oakdale has their the James Riddle whatever.
I forget what it's called, but yeah, they give out like that belt buckle, I think, right, or something like that.
Is that kind of, you think that'll draw some bigger teams too?
Probably from the San Joaquin section. You'll probably see some. You'll probably see some stuff out there.
Vacaville will
probably be out there. You'll probably see Pittman and you're obviously going to see Oakdale kids.
Pittman didn't come to this.
Yeah, I think they were here last year too. Like I said, some of the schools that came last year didn't come. But like I said, a lot of the teams are picking and choosing. A lot of it could be funding and stuff like that. Could be that too. Football's just ending too, so you have you might have some kids that are still playing football.
Next week we have it's going to be a really good interview. We have Isabella Marie Gonzalez.
Right.
So that'll be good.
It's with the S or Z.
It's with the Z, man, with the Z. And so I'm excited for that too. Just I think you guys will see it and be able to talk about.
Well, I think at least for me too. Like I learned a lot,
right?
During her, talking to her, just because we don't know nothing. I don't know anything about girl wrestling.
It's just different, and even then, I think people are going to really appreciate it's just recruiting and the different things that happen.
It's a totally different kind of dynamic with that, right?
It's D1 versus D3 and what they're doing in the established programs,
right.
But as D1 continues to build steam for the women, I think California girls, if they don't get on board, like think about this, they're like if you have a potential. California's killing it,
right?
But if you have a
female wise, dude, if you're Stanford or Cal Baptist or Cal Poly or something like that, if you're not trying to get a girl wrestling program, what are you doing, bro?
Right.
Because that's big, especially with the California kids. I mean, even if you just recruited your state, I mean, you're going to be pretty good.
Especially in California.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's coming. It's long overdue. What I really think is I think some of the states just adopted this. I think under New York did. They have transitioned to, in high school, girls are wrestling
freestyle because that's what they do in college.
That makes sense, man. Like for me, it's just if they're gonna do it in college.
If it makes sense.
For college,
CIF usually don't do it.
Well, CIF forget about it. They won't even adopt it till 2075 after everybody's done it. But
right.
Part of it. But anyhow,
good times.
Yeah, that's what we got for you guys next week. So we really appreciate you guys tuning in. Obviously, the season's just getting started, so this is just the beginning. And continue to bring comments. Please subscribe. Take a look. Give us some comments. Let us know what you think.
Yep, sweet. Thank you.
All right.